So today I'm going to talk about program deviations. And I'm going to talk about this in a general sense. I'm going to go over 5 scenarios where you might deviate from your training program. So it's not going to be very specific into this specific scenario happens, this is what you should do. Rather, it's going to be this topic, one example, and maybe what you do. And so the first one is surprises. This could be like if a friend comes into town and it's like, hey, yo, shoot you up and be like, you wanna go work out? It's like you haven't seen him for a couple years. It's like you are going to work out with him, but it interferes with your schedule, right? What should you do? Given this surprise, you can go work out with your friend, bro. You haven't seen him for a couple years. Spend the time with him, man. Spend the time. It's okay to sacrifice a day of your program, of your schedule, to be with a friend, especially one you haven't seen for a couple years. Now, of course, it also depends on the specific scenario, right? Perhaps you might need to throw out your entire workout plan. That's also okay. Perhaps you can modify the workout so that you can fit in some exercises that you want to do. That's even better. Perhaps he comes into town and he asks you to take him through your workout. If so, that's the best scenario, right? You don't need to change anything. He is offering himself to follow your program, to not disturb you when, he's the guest. And if you have a friend like that, kudos to you, man. That's a good ass friend right there. The second is when you get injured. Right? You're most likely going to get injured. So what should you do? Let's say you get injured in your right knee. Very specific, you're playing some sports, maybe it's tackle football, and someone tackles your knee, and you go down, and, you got injured. What do you do then? You can still work around your knee. Just because you have a knee injury does not mean you can't work out your upper body. Your knee is not limiting your upper body. You can still do all the motions, all the functions of your upper body. You still do curls, extensions, bench press, pull-ups. Everything with the upper body is not limited. And in the same sense, your left leg is not limited either. Your right leg is because, it's your right knee, but your left leg can still do things. You can do the unilateral exercises for your left leg. It's not like you get injured and boom, you quit the gym for 3 months and you stop working out. It's not like that. Unless you get a crippling injury of which you really just cannot do anything. You get cancer, you're going through chemo, and if that happens, it's okay, that's understandable. But if it's an injury where one specific limb is impacted, or maybe a couple, but others are not, you can still go to the gym and work out the uninjured parts. Number 3 is sickness, which is somewhat like injuries, but you get sick. Let's say you get a cold. That's not an excuse to not go to the gym. It's not. Of course, it depends on the severity of the cold, right? If you have a fever, it's okay, maybe you shouldn't go. Maybe you shouldn't go. If you get the flu, maybe you shouldn't go. If you get food poisoning, maybe you shouldn't go. But if you get a very mild sickness, if you have a cough, right? This is not an excuse that is acceptable to not go to the gym. This is not affecting me so much that I am debilitated, that I am completely weak, out of my mind, frail. It's not like that. And of course, this depends on your personal scenario. You may have HIV or AIDS, and getting a cold may be life-threatening to you, right? That is up to your own discretion. If this is really, really bad, if you get sick and it's okay, I should really take care of myself. But if you're a normal person, you get a cold, it's most likely not going to be anything. And therefore, it's not going to be an excuse. Number 4 is vacation. Right, we all go on vacation. Whether it be a trip to Asia, Japan, China, Korea, Europe, Australia, or just somewhere in your home country. Instead of being at home, you just go to the mountains, go to a cabin. You're going to have vacation. So what do you do on vacation, right? Let's say you only have access to a hotel gym. What do? You make do. You do the best you can with the equipment. You do the best. Right? If you usually bench press, doing double bench press for like 2 plates, and you go to a hotel gym with only 50-pound dumbbells, you make do. Right? You make the exercise harder, and therefore is more stimulating than if you're just do the exercise straight. And I have videos on how to make exercises harder, how to modify reps, how to modify sets to make them harder. I believe they're also in this playlist, so you can just check it out. So there are ways to get more stimulus out of lighter weights. And in fact, that's what you should do with your regular routine. Because it just means less chance of injury, less fatigue from your workouts. And less fatigue means that you can work harder and therefore get more gains. The less weight you use, the better. Well, let's say you don't have a gym. You're going into the mountains. You literally do not have a gym. What do you do then? Once again, you make do. To all my calisthenics bros out there, you know what to do. Do your calisthenics, bro. Do your push-ups, your pull-ups, pike push-ups. Calisthenics is meant to be done anywhere. And that's what makes it so great. You don't have a gym? Calisthenics. Done. And the last one is when you have lagging muscles, right? Let's say your right bicep is half an inch bigger than your left bicep. And that's quite a sizable difference, right? And to remedy this, you need to make program changes. You need to edit your program more than just like any of the other 4 scenarios. For correcting lagging muscles, you need to alter your program so that you get more unilateral work. Let's say it's the left bicep that's lagging, right? I need to alter my program so that my program emphasizes unilateral bicep work over bilateral bicep work, because unilateral means that I'm going to use this arm on its own and this arm on its own. So I'm going to get the stimulus the left arm needs to grow more. And so that's altering the program. The thing with lagging muscles is that you're pretty much always going to have lagging muscles. Your left and right sides are almost never going to be completely the same. And because you have dominant arms and dominant legs. Right? So there's going to be differences. But you can minimize them with changing the program, with doing as many unilateral exercises you can to correct or to try to correct the imbalance. And so that was 5 different scenarios. I will post more videos on more specifics for each scenario, but that'll be in the future. And so basically the TLDR for this entire video is basically when life happens, when shit happens, you just adapt the best you can. You just adapt. If you're watching this video, you maybe perhaps don't know how to adapt. You don't know exactly how to alter your training to accommodate for lagging muscles. You don't know what to do when you get injured. You don't know what to do when you're sick, when you're on vacation. Well, I can tell you that there's many videos on the channel that will help you learn, and therefore if you can learn, you can adapt. If you need more information, I have written a training book. It will be in the description. It will be linked to my Shopify, and you can buy it there. Otherwise, free videos on the channel. You're free to learn. And with that, I'll see you next time.